Greetings and welcome to Solid 10 TV. I'm Ricardo, and I will be your host and game master on this wonderful Wednesday. Tonight, we are trying something a bit new here at Solid 10. Stories from Truistria, Daggerheart one-shot, The Heart's Awakening. And we're joined by some wonderful friends and the Solid 10 cast. Say hello, everybody.
Bonjour.
Hello, everybody. Hola.
Hello. Howdy.
If you enjoyed this adventure and want to run it at your own table, the session, you can find it at solid10dnd.com. Then it's time to play some Solid 10 Daggerheart. All right, everybody, let's go.
Let's go.
Archie narrowed his eyes against the last blinding gleam of the sun, its light casting long shadows over the endless waves of the Sands of Surya. Final doom loomed ahead. Towering ridge of gold promised a grand view of whatever lay beyond. His legs burned from the climb, sand shifting treacherously beneath his boots. But his mind was somewhere else. He could almost smell it again, that strange blend of dusty parchment, dry ink, and cold tea that always clung to Professor Thorne's study. The old man had been a storm of energy that day, a whirlwind of tweed and tangled hair, barely able to contain himself as he fluttered about the room like a scholar possessed. Books had spilled from every surface, maps unfurled across the floor like forgotten spells. And there was even a half-eaten sandwich wedged dangerously close to a scroll that might have been older than the kingdom itself. "Archie, my boy," Professor cried, eyes wide behind sliding spectacles, voice pitched with feverish excitement. "Just the fellow I needed." He stabbed a spot on a worn map with one trembling finger, nearly toppling over a stack of folios as he did. "News from the deep desert. Whispers, really. Something that shouldn't exist. A freshwater oasis where charts show nothing but death and dust." He started pacing then, words pouring from him in a rush, barely keeping up with his own thoughts. "And not just water. Oh, no. Something ancient. Something powerful. Surfacing after God knows how long, buried beneath the dunes. The implications, Archie, the implications are seismic." He rolled back, hands flung wide. "And I thought of you." Archie still felt the weight of that moment. The way Thorne had looked at him, not just as a trusted adventurer, but as someone standing on the edge of something larger than themselves. "You and your party's reputation precedes you. You're seasoned, smart, stubborn as hell. And that's exactly what this expedition needs." He hadn't wasted time on ceremony after that. The professor had already begun packing, books stacked in crates and old relics, tucked into padded cases. "I'll ride ahead, set up a perimeter camp near the ruins. Just the essentials, my mules and my instruments. But I'll need protection. When your company returns to Gibraltar, I want you with me." Then came the real bait, access to his library. Unrestricted, full academic backing, and of course, a reward, suitably generous for the risk, a city's treasure chest full of knowledge and gold. When Archie agreed, Thorne had beamed like a boy discovering his first spellbook. He handed over creased and ink-blotted map, clearly drawn in the middle of a sleepless night. "This is where we'll be, right at the edge of something extraordinary." Sometime later, the evening in Gibraltar brought with it the smell of smoke and spice, the warmth of oil lamps, and the low, ever-present hum of music drifting from open windows. In the shadows of the sandstone cliffs and the sun-baked rooftops, a narrow alley led to the kind of place that didn't advertise its existence. The Dust Devil's Respite, half-sunken tavern where mercenaries, mages, and misfits alike came to drink without being bothered, and to be bothered only if they wished. The Respite had been carefully carved into the stone decades ago, maybe more, its low ceiling and cool cave-like air offering shelter from both heat and attention. Lamps hung from rusted chains, their glass chimneys stained with years of smoke. The scent of burnt citrus peel hung in the air, mixed with tobacco and 1,000 spilled drinks. Tables were mismatched, stools wobbled, and the floor was uneven, yet no one ever seemed to complain. The barkeep, dark-skinned orc named Mesra, with arms like tree trunks and a voice like gravel and honey, kept the drinks flowing and the trouble to a minimum. Archie had claimed a corner booth, half curtained by a drape of beaded cloth and sheltered by a heavy stone arch overhead. A brass hookah smoldered on the table beside him, curling sweet smoke towards the ceiling, and a tall glass of iced tamarind ale sat untouched as he studied the doorway. A few regulars nodded his way. Recognition, respect, or maybe just habit. The booth remained his alone. On the table before him lay the folded map Professor Thorne had pressed into his hands. Ink blurred along one corner where sweat or rain had tried to erase its secrets. Still, the mark was clear, a single, crude X, deep in the Sands of Surya. Outside, the sun dipped below the ridgeline, and that quiet hour before the nighttime crowd filled the respite was upon them. An ideal time for the kind of conversation that could change everything. As the curtain of this evening settled over Gibraltar's, the door to the Dust Devil's respite swung open. One by one, familiar silhouettes stepped into the cool, smoky half-light. So who do we see walking into the tavern? Let's start with John. Tell us who you are, where people can find you, and who will you be playing tonight?
I'm John, often Mr. DM. It's my first time playing in so long, just being a player in general. You can find me here at Solid 10. So, shambling in to this tavern is average height for humanoids, Dracona, with bluish, kind of greenish scales, white scars on his face and arms, the headband, kind of holding back some of the frills on his head. Kind of stooping, kind of just shambling in his movement across the tavern as he kind of shambles up.
Ravi, I trust that you had a decent travel?
I did. I found some herbs and refilled my stores, so I'm good for whatever we're getting into next. He kind of pulls a stool up, sits down kind of awkwardly, and leans with his elbows on the table.
Outstanding. I took the liberty of preparing a pitcher of wine. Would you care for some?
Sure. If you've prepared it, then sure. I will have some.
Archie's gonna reach his hand out, and you're gonna see the cup just sort of move slowly towards you.
You, of course, you remember Obrix. You see a little tiny baby stone golem sort of pushing the cup over to you. From our last expedition, I decided that he was best to stay with me and out of the reliquary.
Kind of reach around and pat the little golem on the head. Thank you.
Come on.
I'll pick the cup up and take a drink.
At that moment, the door opens and a rather tall individual blocks the light from the outside. Paige, who do we see?
My name is Story Sage. On Twitch, it's STORISAGE. But I go by Sage. You can find me pretty much everywhere on social media. I stream games and we talk a lot about real life. I am playing a character named Pandrun Vecker. So as this door opens, you see this giant shadow of this human who is very dark-skinned, just like super tanned, and is kind of, as he enters, tucking these huge white feathered wings as close to his shoulders as he possibly can. He's very scantily clad, wearing this like split skirt and just leather armor, like hinted with gold and, sort of decorations, a little bit of jewelry. And he's just, I think most people would say that he's pretty attractive with light colored eyes, very blonde, almost like as he enters, just takes up so much space in the room, very like uncomfortably trying to tuck his wings in, and just kind of immediately spots Archie and Ravi and just walks over to the table, plops down on the nearest seat, and is just like, hey guys. what's up? Why are we here? And then just goes to get the pitcher of wine that is around or near Ravi, just kind of picks it up and downs as much as he possibly can.
And for an individual of Panrin's size, that's quite a bit. The wine flask now contains maybe a quarter of what it originally contained. And as the party looks across the table at each other, the door opens once more and we see a blue-skinned individual. Bug, tell us who you are, where we can find you, and who you'll be playing.
Hello, everyone. I'm the Unstoppable Bug. You can find me here on Solid 10 most Fridays. I am playing a stocky, muscled, build, blue-skinned skykin. Her name is Orin the Fallen, or just Orin. She is decked out in this thick, sand-blasted armor. Some is chainmail, some is that plate that is just... It's seen better days. She has a thick orange scarf around her neck and just a mess of white hair that is just piled atop her head. It's cut short, but it is wild. She stands with her shoulders back, and very much of the soldier mindset is scanning the room. Once she locks eyes with Ravi and Penryn and Archie, she makes a beeline straight and sits and crosses her arms, and she is almost always straight to the point. What's going on?
Archie's gonna like very sheepishly sort of put his hand up in sort of a motion to Mesra and just kind of keep and hold up the picture.
Archie, speak up. All right. Picture.
Yes,
Be right there.
Well, I am very excited that everyone made it here post very quickly. Much to discuss.
And as Mesra recognizes you need another pitcher of wine, Ghost, kind of tell us who you are, where people can find you, and who are you playing this evening?
Sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Pete, or people call me Ghost. I'm over on YouTube mostly at Ghost-Light. I'm also here on Twitch. I forget my name, if I'm being totally honest. Ghost_Light_games. Super professional. You can find me both of those locations. Starting next Thursday, we're beginning our first Daggerheart mini-series with a few of the faces you see here. Super excited. The Shadowed God. That'll be running until December. And then who knows? We're going to have, I think, 2 one-shots in the middle of that as well. So lots of fun to be had. Today I'm playing Archie, who is a fawn wizard, and just my favorite already. So,
Thanks, Ghost. And as Mesra comes back, he slides the large carafe across the table. Spotlight is yours.
Well, as I said,
and I'm gonna pick up the craft and sort of pass it to anyone. Or I don't know if Oren got it.
would you care for some?
Sure, I'll take some. Thanks.
Okay. I ordered a cheese as well. I don't know if that's coming or anyway. So, did everyone have a nice time away? Our last adventure was, a little stressful, I guess.
Dude, it was so much fun. I got to go to the temple, and you know how the parties are there, right? Dude, we had like the best like ale and wine and like everything you can think of. You were just talking about cheese. They had like the best cheese ever. It was so cool. You guys have to come sometime. I don't know why you keep declining my invites.
I don't know that you gave me an invite, to be honest with you. I don't. I would love to see the library, if I may.
The library?
There's certainly a room with scrolls or...
Nah. Why would we keep paper around?
For documenting and important... You know what, maybe we should get down to why while we're meeting here, a little ahead of schedule, if I might say. Did everybody have anything to add before I get started?
Ravi kind of sits his cup down. Looks like he's chewing on something. He kind of coughs into his hand. And as he does, there's sand in his hand. You can kind of see sparkly bits of glass in it. And as he kind of licks his teeth, there's arcs of energy kind of jumping across his teeth. He takes the glassy sand and he kind of puts it in a vial and he tucks it into his vest. That's why it sounded weird. I still had that in my mouth. The wine really didn't go well with that either.
Oh, I can imagine, yes.
So I've been kind of just wandering around Gilbrati's, just kind of looking. Found this nice topiary that wiggled my fingers at, and it's probably inappropriate now. But while I was wandering, I was trying to remember. One of you had some kind of nickname for me, and I cannot remember for the life of me what it was.
Oh dear.
What was that? Can you help me?
I think that was one that Penrune sort of coined themselves.
I mean, obviously we gotta call you shapes, right? Like, you're so obsessed with the shapes of shrubs and trees and stuff. I don't get it, but I mean, look, engage in your pleasures, I guess. I mean, that's what life's about, right?
I mean, it was funny to watch the mothers covering their children's eyes when they walked past this topiary that had a giant thing growing out of it.
Why do people do that? I mean, I don't get it. I don't get it, dude.
Half of people have wieners, right? What's weird
Yeah.
about that?
Right, exactly. I don't get it.
So shapes, that's what it was. Shapes, okay, that's right.
Yes, indeed. The reason why I asked everyone to come a little early, you may or may not remember my time before we all met at university. I had a mentor back then, sort of the one that really drew me into expedition archaeology and things of the like. With my fascination, of course, with things of a divine nature, and ultimately, as you know, some of our recent expeditions looking for the rumored books that are linked to that divinity. But that professor recently called upon me and has some requests of our troop. He needs us to go to this location, and he's going to push the map forward and show the marked area. He's made a fantastic discovery, and it's outstanding. There are many riches to be had if what he thinks is happening is where there was nothing. Now there is an oasis, but this isn't uncharted in any way, shape, or form. This is completely charted. It's just an oasis that sort of came up out of nowhere. Now, Professor Thorne, did I say his name? Professor Thorne. He asked us to come out there and help him secure the site, promising us many riches, payment, that is, but also, and singularly important to me, access to his personal archives. Now, I have reason to believe that perhaps Professor Thorne has located one of these books, these tomes, if you will, that I've been searching for, that are really only rumor. I don't know that he even understands what he has. So I would very much like us to take this job and, if we could, gain access to this library. Would you agree? I said there was money. Did I say there was money?
I was going to ask, books sound good for you, but we probably need some money.
Yes, there's money. Access to his archives with reliquary and anything that we could access. I'm sure we could also potentially monetize.
I mean, I'm just interested in this Oasis. Like, are you not, like, super curious? Like, there's gotta be a bunch of, like, pretty people and, like, water to like, chill in, and surely we could, like, find some grapes or something. Also, Archie, I got a question for you. Like, I get that you're, like, super interested in the divine. I have no idea why, but, like, why do you keep asking me so many questions about my god? Like, why?
Well, as you know, I don't have, in my people's background, we don't have a faith of our own. Your link to divinity may have some clue to guide me in my quest to find one of these books that I've heard about, that are rumored, like a whisper on the wind.
I mean, I don't know about any books, but, like, this Oasis sounds kind of fucking cool, dude.
Yes, I assure you that probably certain death versus a party, but maybe we'll be surprised.
Wait, what? Certain death? What? Kind of looks over at Oren, like, raises a scaly, not eyebrow.
Certain death?
Well, you know, as certain as these things tend to go for us, usually, let's be honest, there's danger with everything that we do, and usually ends with me hiding behind a rock and Oren beating someone up, which I'm always grateful for, of course, you know. Thank you again. And also thank you for sharing your particular hobby with me. I do enjoy it as well.
I mean, you know what they say at our temple, right?
I don't, because you've never invited me.
Dude, I say this all the time, right? To lose oneself is to find the divine, dude, right? So, like, let's go get lost. Like, there's a reason there's an oasis in the middle of nowhere, right?
Okay, I'm still going to bring my compass, though. And the map.
You don't need a compass. I thought you believed in the divine, dude. Just let that shit guide you.
Okay, I will let that shit guide me via the compass in the map, if that's okay.
So what is this hobby that we are hearing of?
Was that me? Oh! Oh no! Yeah. You know, they say dancing helps with form or whatever, I guess. You know, and I guess if you ask Penryn, it's a way to let loose.
Yes. I have two, well, they're not left feet, but they are hooved, so I guess you can't necessarily tell them apart.
They weren't too bad. Don't worry about it.
Oh, well, thank you very much. I do appreciate that. Coming from you.
Let's just not, you know, face certain death when we go, you know. Let's not do that. But if I'm here, I could just punch a thing and it'll be fine.
I'm not great with words and letters, but to me it seems like we should call it uncertain death.
Yes, I would prefer there to not be such a certainty to our end. I mean, we've made it this far.
I can get behind that, or in front of it.
I'll stay behind it. You can you have wings and.
Ravi's there kind of licking his teeth, like picking sand out.
Staring at the sun, Archie still had that map tucked safely in his pack. The journey to the site had been arduous, a test of the companion's endurance against the relentless desert. Days blended into shimmering haze of heat, punctuated by cold, star-dusted nights. The air was thick with fine sand, chafing skin and finding its way into every crevice. The landscape was dominated by colossal dunes, some stretching like petrified waves, others sculpted into razor-sharp ridges by the wind. Survival had relied on careful navigation and vigilance against the desert's less hospitable inhabitants. Mirages danced on the horizon, tempting them with promises of water and shade that were never truly there, serving as a constant reminder of the Sands of Surya's deceptive nature. As you draw closer to the coordinates on Professor Thorne's map, it subtly shifts. The sand takes on an unusual, almost glassy sheen in places, hinting at intense ancient heat. Scattered amidst the dunes are larger, more angular rock formations. Unlike the natural erosions of the surrounding areas, these are the first true signs of ancient masonry, half buried and worn by millennia of wind and sand. The air itself seems to shimmer differently, not just from heat, but with a faint, almost imperceptible hum of latent energy. Eventually, a faint, almost impossible glimmer appears on the horizon, growing steadily larger. It is the newly formed Oasis, not a vast body of water, but a deep, circular depression in the desert floor, perhaps a quarter mile across, with a glint of crystal clear water at its center. Around the water's edge are the unmistakable outlines of colossal, crumbling stone structures, twisted, ancient palm trees, their leaves a leathery dark blue. They cling precariously to the edges of the depression, providing scant shade. The sight is both miraculous and unsettling, an island of life in an ocean of dirt and desolation, hinting at the power that once sustained it and the secrets still held within its depth. The silence that hangs over the oasis is profound, broken only by the gentle lapping of water and the distant cry of the desert hawk. There's an undeniable sense of antiquity here, feeling that time itself has slowed, preserving a moment of a bygone era. Strange angular carvings, unlike any modern script, adorn exposed stone, hinting at a forgotten language and a lost civilization. The air, though warm, carries a faint, earthy scent, mingled with something metallic and slightly acrid, a smell that speaks of deep earth and perhaps forgotten magic. The last rays of the sun cast long, skillful shadows across the dunes as you arrive at the edge of this newly formed basin. The air here is noticeably cooler, carrying the faint, earthy scent of damp soil and ancient stone, stark contrast to the burning wind you've endured for weeks. Before you, shallow, still body of crystal clear blue water shimmers, ringed by an unnatural burst of resilient, deep blue foliage. It's an impossible sight, life blooming fiercely in the heart of the desolate wastes. Around the largest exposed sections of crumbling architecture and masonry, a haphazard array of canvas tents, research equipment, and supply crates marks the makeshift camp of Professor Aris Thorne. A flickering lantern casts a warm, inviting glow from within one of the larger tents, and you can just make out the silhouette of the professor, figure buzzing with nervous energy, pacing back and forth amidst his scattered notes and instruments, occasionally peering intently towards the shadowy depth of the ruins. The low hum of distant, ancient magic seems to vibrate beneath your boot, subtle thrumming beneath the earth itself, pulling you deeper into the mystery. As you arrive to the camp and the oasis, what happens now?
Did you say it was evening?
It is evening. The sun has just fallen behind the large dunes that in this lowered basin rise much higher, as far as 150, 200 feet. And in the distance, the sun drifts behind them, casting a silhouette and shadow across the oasis.
Fine shit indeed.
Dude, I told you this was gonna be so cool. Like, look at that water. Doesn't that look like the perfect, like, just like chill, like lazy river type, like, you know? And what's this vibe? Like, you guys feel the vibe?
I would, if you could avoid it, that is, I wouldn't touch it quite yet.
Why are you always killing the vibe, Archie?
I don't
Do you
know.
at least have like some wine or something here? I'm like parched.
I think Oren has the wineskins.
As you look over, Oren is like, she's like covered with belts of just pouches. She's like fiddling through it. And then she looks up. Yeah. Hold on. Hold that thought. And as she's looking, she's gonna look to Archie. While this is on my mind, there was a thing that you gave me. What was it again? I can't seem to find it in my pouches. And she's looking. She's gonna pull out a small wineskin. Here you go, Penryn.
The bookmark I gave you.
That's right.
Yes, this little gold inlay, the bookmark. It was a gift for the dance lessons, of course.
You guys went dancing without me?
You seemed a little preoccupied with the drink that you had.
Man, I missed it.
And she's gonna reach down deep into a pocket and pull it out. I got it.
Yes, perfect. Should we go and say hello to the professor?
Have we met this guy before, to clarify?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Archie, you tell me.
Well, I haven't seen the professor in many years. So I haven't seen the professor in many years. But I would say that Archie probably speaks of him more. So probably not.
Okay, got it.
Which is one of the reasons why I think Archie's so excited about it.
Makes sense.
So what can we expect of this fellow? Is he like you? With the...
I don't...
And the...
With...
hooves?
I don't remember. Hold on. Let me consult my... he's a human, right?
Looking for more misadventures, mayhem, and magical mishaps? Catch us live most Fridays at 9 p.m. Eastern on Twitch and YouTube. Where the dice are hot, stakes are high, and someone's definitely making a terrible decision. Don't forget to visit solid10dnd.com for event updates, shiny merch, and all of our socials in one enchanted scroll. Bookmark it, tattoo it, write it on your hand. We won't judge. Until next Wednesday.
Professor Thorne is a human. He's slight, he's a spectacled man. At this time now in his late 50s, he's perpetually disheveled in appearance and manic when discussing ancient history with you, Archie. He wears practical, albeit well-worn, desert traveling clothes and always carries a worn leather satchel overflowing with notebook, papers, maps, anything that he can stuff in there. His hands are stained with ink and his hair is windswept. He spent more time in the dusty desert on expeditions than he has at the university.
He's a human, a tad older than I, and completely reasonably tempered, and his personality is very stable. Yes, like me, he's very excited about this expedition. So, and to meet you all.
Should we be excited? Like, be real with me, Archie. Is this, like, am I actually gonna like this dude, or am I just gonna be, like, bored when I listen to him talk like you?
Yes,
Is he nerdier than you?
He's
a professor and you're not, so he's probably nerdier than you.
Yes, that's true. He is a professor and I'm not. Thank you for reminding me, Ravi. He is my mentor, so he is very, he's more knowledgeable on things than I, but...
So we're going to be here for a minute.
Yeah, I have a feeling I'm going to hate this.
You guys hungry? I can fix some food if this guy's about to talk for a while.
Yes, dude. That's the only thing that's going to help me survive. That and this wine.
Okay, so Ravi will kind of wave his hand and campfire will kind of... I assume there's some type of campfire set up. He'll kind of light it.
Set up outside the tents. There's a camp. There's clearly just now one stool that sits there, but the embers are really low, if non-existent, and create this fire that flares relatively quickly. But you see Professor Thorne, the lantern on the inside, tapping his lip as he walks back and forth, just mumbling to himself.
Would you like me to come with you, Archie?
If you wouldn't mind, I think that he would enjoy seeing other representation from our group.
Yeah.
I do apologize. He is a little what's the word? Eccentric?
Super nerd.
I mean, the foliage is blue, so how much more eccentric can it be?
I don't know. He was awfully excited when I saw him last, and that was before he set up this base. So he may be fully tuned in, as they say.
Understood.
Professor.
As you make your way across the large canvas tent, has one of the flaps pulled back and tied against the side, and you make your way in, and he turns, hearing his name called, and Archie, my boy, finally made it out. But to be quite frank, you're here a lot sooner than I thought you would be. Well met. And he goes to give you a handshake and a half hug, and kind of like eventually embraces you, and you stand there for an uncomfortable second, and you hear him sigh, almost audibly. Well, in your ear, it is audible. His hands shake, and he's like, he holds you at arm's length, one of his calloused hands on your shoulder, and he says, "It's amazing, Archie. I'm glad you're here." Yeah. So, who's your friend here?
I'm sorry, Professor. This is my friend Orin. Orin, this is Professor Thorne.
I heard a lot about your exploits from Archie in the past. Glad to have you on this expedition.
It's very nice to finally put a face to the name, Professor.
Oh, I used to be much more handsome when I was a lot younger, but it's great to see you. It's great to see you both. Finally to meet Archie's friends, and well, you won't believe this, Archie. You won't believe it at all.
What wouldn't I believe, Professor?
So, me and the mules traveled weeks across the desert. Well, you know how long it takes to get here. But with these stubborn mules, sometimes, he was, there was on his last legs, and he kind of, once we got here, he saw the crystal clear blue water, and he drank from it, and I swear his aging reversed, and he was almost his young self again. It's got amazing healing properties. But do watch out for the scorpions.
Archie is just going to pop his head out the tent and scream to Pandren, "Don't drink the water! Please, just don't."
I was going to say, can we hear this conversation from outside?
He's relatively loud. He's more gesturing than speaking. He speaks at a normal voice, so perhaps the crackling of a fire. Well, why don't we go ahead, if you would like, make a, instinct perceive roll? Is that what it is? Yes, it is.
Instinct. All right, that's my jam. I'm gonna roll digital, guys. I want everyone to see it.
Nice.
I'm gonna roll digital. All right, instinct. Oof.
That's a 10 with hope.
Solid 10 for the first roll.
Yeah, let's go.
That is enough, because the tranquil air here around the Oasis is very calm compared to the harsh wind and desert you've endured over the last weeks. And you hear him talking about his prized mule, Arthur, being rejuvenated by the waters of the Oasis.
So as Panrin and I were like handing this wineskin back and forth as I'm kind of getting food ready, I kind of look over, I'm like, did he say scorpions?
I think he did.
Like, does he mean like just scorpions, or does he mean like scorpions?
Dude, I hope he means scorpions. You know what I'm saying? Like, we gotta see something cool out here. If I can't drink the water, yeah, dude. I mean, let's get lost in scorpions, I guess.
Scorpions and undrinkable water. Oh, this is going to be fun.
Professor.
Yes, Soren.
Since you've been out here, have you seen any threats in the area besides scorpions? And how big scorpions are we talking?
Archie, the regular desert side scorpions that are... And he continues to widen his arms. Like 3 feet tall. It's the young Suryamara. Those normally are regular through the sands here. So perhaps, they seem to be hanging out on the far side of the Oasis, but that's where the entrance to the rune. So I don't know if you can chase them off or make them go away. They're drawn to the water sources, of course.
Can we get back to the mule aging in reverse? That is something I can't believe.
I couldn't believe it myself. He was on his last legs to that one, Arthur, that one. But we got here and he couldn't help himself, and I couldn't stop him because he's so stubborn, almost as stubborn as you, Archie, to be quite frank. And he just went running into the water, and he was there, and then he laid down, and before I know it, the gray on his mane turned a little more brown, and he had a little pep in his step. He's over around the corner if you want to talk to him.
Have you consulted your books at all? Has this happened ever before?
But let me tell you, son, tremors, the water, all points to reawakening, chance to glimpse at a past we've thought forever lost. The lost civilization of Aethel. We thought it was a myth. I have some books in my archives that talk about it, but they were known for masters of creation magic. They're supposed to have a large library in the ruins. What I wouldn't do, but what we're not, we're going to do that because you're here. By the way, Orin, Mr. Archie did tell you that I'm paying you guys in advance to be my bodyguards into the room, correct?
Yes.
I have the gems over here, and he walks back towards his tent, and he pulls back a canvased harp, and you see what looked like 4 large chests sitting there. Your payment is in there. We can keep it here, or you can take your chest of gold should you want it now.
Well, if it's secure here with you, I prefer not to carry it into the temple if I could avoid it.
Certainly.
We
can keep it here, Archie.
Okay, fantastic.
You want your share stay here, Orin?
Yeah. Might be a little difficult to hold a chest if we're fighting our ways to an entrance, you know? I trust you, I trust the professor. So.
Danger? Yeah. Probably quite dangerous, but imagine the footnotes. Professor Aris Thorne and his capable crew.
Yes, at all.
Discovery. Archie, the discovery.
Yes, more on that. So the type of ruins, I should say, that we have here, is this something that Archie may have read about before? He's familiar with.
Why don't you give me a knowledge roll, and if you would like to spend a hope to use an experience, let me know what your experience might be.
I don't want to spend a hope yet. Oof, unless I get a hope. Okay, no, I'm not going to spend a hope yet. I'm +2 knowledge, so it's tempting. Oof, no, we're good.
I'm going to call out from outside and help him and spend a hope to give him advantage.
Add a d6.
Do you want to roll it? Or do you want me to?
I rolled it. Add a 6 to it.
Nice. You add a what? You said 6?
Add a 6, yeah. I use these dice, and they always roll so well.
That's beautiful. Where'd you get that die?
It was a gift.
Nat 20 dicery.
Hey.
There you go. Nice plug.
All right, so I'm a +2, so 12, 14 plus 6.
That's a 20 with hope. Give yourself a hope. You have heard of this place, though you read about it many, many years ago. And where you found it was a children's book of myth and legend. It was mentioned a great city that existed in the middle of the Sands of Surya, but at the same time, it was more just a wives' tale that was penned in a children's book.
Do I know the moral of the story, or is it like just mentioned?
The moral of the story was what was once found has now been lost.
Okay.
I do recall something about the situation is very, very similar to an old folklore, I suppose, maybe children's bedtime story I heard of a long time ago. The Lost...
Was there a name to the Lost City? Or
it is the Lost City of Aethel, Aethel.
Aethel.
And in fact, I have created a journal that everybody has access to called the Party Log. And I will add Lost City of Aethel.
Furiously takes notes.
The Lost City of Aethel was the story in question. I don't think there was a moral as they tend to have, but it did speak to what was lost is now found. Could this be the lost city of Aethel?
Oh, Archie, I think it is. I think it is. If the nomads had their words right, and I did a lot of studying, and he gestures to a table that has just a pile of books, half of them open, the other half spilled on the floor. I think this is, and they speak of what they call the arbor seed, my friends. Not merely a relic, it's a key to understanding the very fabric of Aethelian creation magic.
Interesting. This, Ravi, Pan, will you come in here for a moment? This really sort of feels like sort of Ravi's area.
I'll kind of like, whatever I'm doing with the food, I'll kind of set it to the side of the heat to make sure it doesn't burn. Take a big draw from the wineskin and hand it back to Pan. And I'll walk, kind of push my way into the tent, kind of look around, take it all in, see the books and the papers and everything everywhere, and be like, what's the question?
A seed of creation magic. Are you familiar with this type of, feels like maybe a natural phenomenon in some way? While he's talking, he's going to kind of move over to the table of books and start to sort of page through what he's been researching.
Creation magic. Mr. GM, do I know anything about creation magic?
You can give me a knowledge roll.
Oh boy.
Ooh, and I'm going to spend a hope to help you out.
Right on.
Give you some
Go ahead
guidance.
and roll a d6, Ghost.
I'm just going to randomly be like, anything that's old ancestries or arbor seeds. This is only a +3.
I can feel something in the air. It's strange. That's a 17 with hope. I can feel the vibrations, but what do I remember?
You remember that there were artifacts spread across this world, each one controlling a different creative power. And these artifacts were pinned in these tomes at the beginning of time. There is an artifact that's said to be called the Aethelian Arbor Seed that was able to create a fertile land in the midst of any harsh environment. It's said to be lost to time.
I convey that unless Ravi's not very smart. Feels like something here.
Penryn is gonna go ahead and just kind of like messily walk in and just like staring at Ravi like, dude, did you just say this seed like creates like fertile land?
Apparently, yes. The seed is making. I mean, I haven't seen any wieners. Have you seen any wieners?
Nah, but like I've been looking for them. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't think out here in the desert's a good place to find wieners.
I mean, are you sure about that? Shapes, I feel like you could just like make one out of like stone or like those trees or something. I'm just saying it's art, you know?
I can make the grass grow and look.
Listen, the sand does get everywhere. It's very fine.
Oh, pardon my ignorance. I'm Professor Aris Thorne. Nice to meet you. A friend. And he looks towards Archie. Hi, it's been several years. I guess I'm your friend. I'm not your professor anymore. It's nice to meet you. I've heard a lot about you, Ravi and Penryn.
It's going to take some adjustment on my side, I think.
Hey, dude, what's up? And Panrun's just gonna kind of like extend a wing and like put his arm around you and just kind of like vibins like, yo, how you doing, dude? Archie talks about you all the time. Like, he just goes on and on and on. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah.
Yeah, he won't shut up about you.
That's Archie is good with words, but you're certainly a tall one, Penryn, and you how long you been traveling the desert? You smell nice.
Thanks. I think it's just a quality of those of us who worship Dio. It's just like a thing. Also, I probably just smell like wine. You know what I mean? You smell like books.
Well, yeah. Books are my next best friend. Isn't that right, Archie?
Yes, books are lovely.
Well, we can head into the ruins tonight. I've been up almost all day long since I got here. I couldn't bear to deal with my excitement, or we can have a nice dinner. And
Hey, did you stop to eat? Are you hungry? I've got some food outside.
I would prefer.
And you audibly hear his stomach go.
I'm gonna push Professor Thorne with my wing and just kind of try to escort him out toward the food. Come on, dude, look, you gotta eat. Don't you know how good food tastes? Shapes is the best cook ever. Did you see that stuff he cooked over the fire? I couldn't do that. Well, I could do that, but why would I when Shapes can cook for us? Anyway, look, food, dude.
I guess so. Archie, be careful of those books. There's supposed to be some maps to this specific rune. Archie, and as you look, there is what looks like a sandwich that's been cut from corner to corner, and there's literally one bite in it, and it's been set to the side, and it's been there for a couple of days.
Ah, I see. I'm going to look for the map that he's referring to and sort of brush crumbs and any residual. I'm assuming this isn't the first sandwich eaten on this map. Anything off of it, and sort of roll it up very carefully and say,
Oren.
Yeah.
If you have a moment,
and just sort of have an aside.
I worry. If this is what we think it is, we may need to upgrade our uncertain death to something a bit more final. There's a reason why this city has been lost for so long. Keep your head up.
Is there anything you could give me more than that? Anything to prepare for? Maybe if we're a little more prepared, we can, we can thwart the threat.
Is there anything in that nursery rhyme that would indicate any sort of a threat, or?
I think, Archie, you're probably well-read enough. A prosperous civilization that met an untimely demise likely means that there's something that didn't go quite well. What once was lost is now found. How did it get lost? And difficult to say because, you were much younger. This was a child's book that teaches, the morals of growing and becoming an adult.
Archie will just say,
well, this civilization was advanced, very, very advanced, in fact. And then suddenly just wiped off the map. I don't know what it would take to do that, but I'm afraid it could, at least in part, still be here.
Duly noted, I guess. Yeah, ever since you said that updating the words from uncertain to something more final, she kind of reaches to her scarf a little bit, and there's a small vial on a chain that's around her neck, and it's got kind of looks like sand a little bit. It's just a small vial, and she kind of clutches it tight, and she's like, "Well, let's not say that, let's be positive about this. Is there anything that you can think of that you said a bunch of creation magic is there something that could possibly be a threat that you can think of off the top of your head that this creation magic could target specifically? Does that make sense?
I don't know much about creation magic, but like all magics, it's only as volatile as those who wield it. And I don't know what we're walking into.
I'm not keen on losing anyone else. So, is there anything I can help you with here?
I think we have our maps. We have somewhat of an understanding of what we're looking for. I think this is as good as it's going to get. The professor doesn't seem to really know what he stumbled upon, so afraid if we go in, we're going to go in blind. But, we have you.
You know the drill. Things light up, get behind me.
Always. And we won't have another situation like Banderas.
Antonio Banderas, of course.
Banderas.
Oh my goodness. Robbie. This smells delicious.
You could just call him Shapes. We all do.
Shapes. Okay.
I mean, my friends call me that. I don't know if I know you very well yet, Prof.
You can call me Aris. That's okay.
I can't pronounce that. I'm going to call you Prof.
Very well. Let me grab some crates. We can use them as stools. And he, goes and starts pulling some crates that are clearly far too heavy for himself to move them. But he drags them across the sand and sits them around this small campfire. So did you all want to go into the rooms tonight? We have to deal with any points across there's scorpions. There's like 4 of them over there. You see them. If you watch them for a minute, they stand still. And then you see these scorpions that are about 5 foot wide and 3 foot tall. And their stingers hang out over their carapace as he says, I'm pretty sure they're not very territorial. They just probably want to drink the cool water here in the middle of the evening. But, that smells really good. I wonder how long is this going to take you to finish there?
As he's saying that, I hand him, it's pretty much just some type of random meat on a stick. I kind of hand out these sticks to everyone. It's meat on a stick. Kind of looking at the scorpions as he's talking about it, I'm like, were they bigger before they drank the water?
I'm not sure. I mean, I didn't see any much bigger than this. I've only been here for a little while, and it seems like they but these might be the same ones that are, nesting nearby in the ruins. And he gestures across the oasis, and you see some half unburied crumbling ruins. Some of them, they're there, but the nomads tell me this oasis has been here for not a long time, but I mean, these desert animals, they need something to drink, and this is a good opportunity. And so, I mean, if they're anything like Arthur, yeah, I mean, perhaps they were bigger, and now that they've aged in reverse, they've gotten smaller. That would only make sense. Archie, isn't that right? The older you get, you start to grow from a wee lad, and then as you reach your prime, then you start to shrink again over time, like me. Or maybe it's just this old pain in my back.
I do believe that this particular species of desert dwelling scorpions do mature at very quick rate and then maintain quite a large size through adulthood and adolescence to adulthood, and then die very large. Yes. As Archie's eating his meat on a stick, he's looks to Pandrun and says, "Pandrun, have you finished that wineskin by chance, or could you?"
You wait, like finish it? I mean, it's empty. You want it?
Oh, yes. If you wouldn't mind, can I please?
All right, I'm just gonna go pass it over to him.
Thank you. And Archie's just gonna slowly walk towards. We're right near the oasis, right? He's just gonna very, very carefully, without getting any on himself, put some water in the wineskin, fill it up, and then.
Why don't you make me a finesse roll?
I'm very curious about what he's doing because I've been listening to all of this. So, did you want to help him? Someone else want to help?
I was gonna say, I think that Oren would be trailing Archie, pretty close, keeping an eye, and, within, reaching distance, just to... I don't know if I have anything that's gonna help here.
So you can just describe how you want to help Archie as part of the narrative. You don't have to have anything mechanically. You can just say, I do this, and then you would spend a hope to give him advantage, and then you would roll the piece.
You're gonna end with Archie just being like a little baby. little baby wizard.
Gosh, I hope not.
Oren takes off her. She's gonna take off her scarf and wrap it around Archie's hands, almost as like gloves, and help support the bottom of the wineskin so that it doesn't touch, and help with the water.
Archie, give me a finesse roll, and Oren roll a d6, and he can add that.
I just rolled crit. And hold up. Can I do this? Oh, I'm gonna disconnect my camera. It's a crit of 10s.
Oh, that's like double.
That's how you get an additional entry in the giveaway is double 10s.
Double 10s.
Double 10s.
So I have Strange Patterns as one of my deals, and I can I get to gain a hope, clear a stress for. And I'm gonna need your call on this too, because it says on either duality die if I roll a 10. How do I show this to you?
You don't have to show it to me. You can just tell me.
Oh, it just says choose a number between 1 and 12. When you roll that number on a duality die, gain hope or clear a stress. You can change this number when you take a long rest.
Let's have 2 cleared stress and 2 hope.
Clear a
You chose
stress.
10 and you rolled 2 10s. Awesome.
Yep. So do that twice.
All right, 2. I'll just do 2 hope. I don't have any stress. Do you start with stress? Okay, I didn't think so.
No stress.
2?
But as you deftly pour water into this wineskin from the Oasis with Oren helping you, what does it look like? What happens?
As the water has a sort of a strange, almost metallic cyan like thickness to it. It's still very liquid, but like there's this weird glittery blue just below the surface, and it fills all of the water. It goes in with the water into the skin itself, but it's this very almost glittery metallic look to it.
I think you do such a good job that you have 2 drinks worth as opposed to 1 within the wineskin, since you do it so well. And before you stopper the wineskin, you can see this little, really faint bluish glow coming from within as you close the top.
Interesting. I'm just gonna go back and join the group at the fire, and I'll give Oren a slight nod as a thank you.
Hey, Archie, can I have my scarf back?
I'm terribly sorry. Here you go.
You're all right. Thank you. And she's gonna wrap it around, and as she does, she's gonna unclip a necklace, the necklace with the vial on it, and she's gonna open it, like pull the stopper out, and she's gonna pour a little bit of the ashes out of the vial into the Oasis, just a little bit, and she's gonna stopper it back and put it back around her neck.
Did I notice this?
She's not hiding it.
It smells burnt.
She kind of looks at it and she grins really sadly. This would be my brother and my teacher. And she's gonna laugh and she's like, meet us, Stani and Jareth.
Your brother and your teacher. Assuming something bad happened to them.
Yeah, we were attacked in a lesson, and long story short, I wasn't able to help.
I'm sure you tried. Knowing you tried.
The way I just told myself it'd never happen again. Told him I'd send him off, and I guess this is as good a place as any.
Kind of awkwardly pat her on the shoulder. Kind of look around her at the water to make sure like something's not growing from where she poured the ashes into it.
As you look at the area, from the time you got here till now, there is a vibrant pulse of life, and the shrubbery has grown more dense and has expanded from the Oasis, maybe 3 to 6 inches. Palm trees, that's pretty large. The palm trees grow, and you see them, and you see another one just start to break the surface and start to grow as if almost the life here is so vibrant and so charged that you can actually see nature expanding here at the water's edge.
See that? See that? That tree looks taller. Is grass taller? What's happening?
Professor, how long have you been camped here?
I've been camped here for a couple of weeks. I mean, when we first got here, that thing was like 10 feet across.
Have you measured its rate of growth since you've been here?
Of course. It's anywhere between 18 inches to 24 inches a day. That's why I camped so far away, because after the first day, I put it right next to and he points and you see a ring of stones, his old campfire in the Oasis, about probably a good 20 feet from shore. He's like, that's where we started. And I realized that was that not very well. And so I figured if you were going to be here in 2 weeks, and he starts doing math in his head, and he's like, and that's why we moved so far out. Another reason why I don't want to spend too much time waiting to go discover the runes. There's a library. There's a map in my tent that takes lefts and rights, and there's a library there. I think you and I would be very interested in that section of this place.
Yes. What is the rate of growth increasing or staying steady?
Oh, in the first day, it grew like 3 foot, but it seems like it's exponential more than what it would be a regular tree or shrub or bush to grow. But it at some point in time, it's going to reach the maximum circumference, and it seems like it's going to stop, because now it's only growing 18 to 24 inches when it was 3 feet initially. So it doesn't seem to be growing as rapidly. So I think there's something under the surface here that the further it gets away from this energy source, the slower it grows.
Interesting.
Ravi's going to take a big step back away from it.
Orin does the same. It's almost in unison.
Nope.
It doesn't do anything for you. I mean, it doesn't turn you into an infant. I mean, you see Arthur over there. He's tied up to the tree, and I mean, he was in a bad way. It's been unusually hot here. It brought these, as you know, and the trek across the desert's more harsh than it's ever been. But he was in a bad way when we got here, and he couldn't help himself, and he drank from he drank from the water, and it was almost as if he was rejuvenated. That's the best word I can say. I'm not going to drink it. I think it's, and you might not want to drink it either, Archie. You might lose like some of your memory. I've got a lot of stuff up here that I want to keep up here.
You spend a lot of time in the desert.
Oh, the desert's a beautiful place. Have you ever seen the cerulean night as the sun goes down in winter across the desert? It's absolutely amazing.
Indeed. Yes, I have. You say it's unusually hot. It's a desert. It's always hot. Always, but okay.
Oh, that's true.
Sorry, that's my fault.
Oh, that's okay.
That's fair.
I mean, but you have wings. You can like pull yourself. Is that something you do?
Huh? Is what something I do?
I sound like an ignorant old man. You can flap your wings and create air.
I mean, I guess. Why? You want some air? And Andrew just starts like expanding his wings.
No. Yeah, I was just, Ravi was just talking about hot in the desert. And anyways, I
don't think air works that way, but I'm not very smart, so.
I just dig for things in the desert. So be more specific and answer your question in a short way and not long-winded. Oh, shoot. I think we're just beyond that. Yes, I spent a lot of time in it.
I was lost for a while. I found these guys.
Yes, thankfully.
Oh, that's good. You get lost in the desert, you can never find your way back sometimes, it seems.
What was lost is found.
Had to help Ravi whenever we picked him up.
I had sand in all the wrong places. Wasn't
Yes.
good.
Oh,
That's what happens. Gets everywhere.
it's everywhere. I mean, if you want, you can just, rinse yourself off in the Oasis. It won't kill you.
You touch it first.
You're out of your mind.
While everyone's been speaking, Archie is looking at the mule. That's all.
I want to go dip my toe in. I'm curious.
SpongeBob
You
toe
said,
me.
well, no, yeah. You just you said. He said to do that, and knowing Ravi, he's listened to all this, but he's not super smart. He'd probably be curious. It's since no one has touched it, only the mule is running it and swam around and came out young. Like, I guess he wants to like just go like, bloop, just to see what happens. Just curious.
Like, I kind of really want to touch that water, Ravi. Like, why don't you go touch it? I think you should go touch it, dude.
I would, as I walk back to the group, I would recommend very wholeheartedly against touching, at least until we could study it a little more.
I mean, what's the worst that could happen?
Right, like, how are you gonna study it if you don't
like,
like touch it?
You already said certain death. I mean, so like,
This would be uncertain death, yes. The death would definitely not be certain. That is.
if it makes you younger, how's it certain? Like, I mean, that seems like the opposite of certain death.
Well, there's the idea of if you keep becoming younger, then what
Just a
happens?
bloop. Just a little bloop. Just a claw for just a second.
I would be fascinated to see the results. I'm not going to lie.
I mean,
but
maybe my claw will get a little shorter. Like I have a little baby finger. Like
listen, I already said this. I don't want another Banderas again, please. If we can avoid any sort of shenanigans on this trip, I would be very thankful and obliged.
Orin has taken out her longsword and is like playing in the water. Like moving the water around with the sword, not touching it her hand, just moving the water around with the sword.
Ravi's got his arms crossed and he's kind of watching as she does that, and you can tell he's like really holding back. Like this conversation's gonna happen. He really just wants to just stick his claw in.
Do we see fish or anything in the water?
There are no fish in the water.
Anything growing in the water?
Only from the edges you see some of this blue shrubbery growing, but there isn't anything growing in the water, but it is absolutely crystal clear. Like you can see a good, as far as you can see here in the dim twilight, as the light of the fire plays off this lake surface or this oasis surface, but it is extremely clear, which is odd in a place like this desert, but it is very easy to see through, and you can see it maybe 3 feet deep at its deepest point.
I know we're hyperfixating. We're doing the player thing where this thing is very curious and we're hyperfixating on it. I know exactly what we're doing. I'm going to stick my finger in it.
A vision flows warmly into your mind. Before the sands reigned supreme, before the winds whispered tale of ruin, there was only the vast and unforgiving desert. Dunes stretched endlessly, a sea of ochre and rust, a relentless sun, where life clung precariously to ephemeral trickles of water. It was into this crucible that the first mystics ventured, not with weapons, but with hope and an ancient, whispered secret. The arbor seed, no larger than a child's arm, hummed with a promise of latent creation, deep, resonant vibration that spoke of the earth's very essence. Through years of arduous meditation and communion with the deepest elemental spirits of the desert, these pioneers began their monumental task, channeling the arbor seed's benign pulse into a single desolate basin, envisioning not just an oasis, but a burgeoning world within this barren expanse. Slowly, impossibly, the miracle began, where parched earth had cracked. Tiny rivulets of pure, cool water seeped upwards, shimmering with the arbor seed's faint violet light. The water collected, deepening into a crystal clear pool that reflected the twin suns. From its edges, not scrub or thorns, but nascent floral burst forth. Ancient, resilient trees whose roots delved deep into the newly moistened earth, drawing sustenance from the arbor seed's magic. And their growth was rapid, almost visible to the naked eye, canopy quickly spreading, forming a natural avenue in shaded groves. This was the birth of the azure heart, boundless spring, from the heart barrenness, the vibrant core of what would become a magnificent civilization. And around this burgeoning miracle, soaring forest city of Aethel rose, not as conquering structures imposed upon the land, but as organic extensions of the living forest itself. Buildings were carved from the living trees, shaped from magically hardened wood, and interwoven with luminous crystalline growths, the arborseed's own light. Grand spires of living wood reached towards the sky, their branches interwoven with platforms and bridges that formed verdant streets high above the forest floor. Water conduits, fed by the azure heart, wound through the city, cascading into serene pools, feeding hydroponic gardens that produced an abundance of food. The very air hummed with magic, gentle, nurturing current that infused every leaf and stone, making Aethel a place of impossible beauty and tranquil power. Prosperity flowed as freely as the water from the azure heart, and the Aethelian people, in harmony with their environment and the arborseed, cultivated unparalleled arcane knowledge. Their mages were not just spellcasters, but life weavers, shaping reality with a gentle touch. Scholars delved into the deep mysteries of creation, recording their wisdom in the very stones of their archives. Art flourished, inspired by the lush beauty that surrounded them, and their society was structured around the guardianship of this arborseed, led by the Azure Heart matron, Eliana Vicaris, and a council of wise high arcanists whose sole purpose was to ensure the balance and benevolent flow of the arborseed's power. It was an age of unparalleled peace, innovation, and an almost utopian existence, a shimmering jewel against the backdrop of the ever-encroaching desert, testament to what devotion, balance, and the miraculous power of the Aethelian arborseed could achieve. Vision fades from your mind. You can clear any hit points and stress that you may have had.
Greetings, Tensfolk. John Dresser here. Thank you so much for being a part of our story. Be sure to like and follow so you'll never miss the next chapter. You can catch the adventure live and uncut most Fridays at 9 p.m. Eastern on YouTube and Twitch. Just search Solid10 D&D, and we'll see you there.